Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Like always, my name's Jose Najarro. We're here doing a live stream. We're going to take a quick look at what's happening in the overall market. And if you guys want to take a quick look at any stocks, feel free to let me know. So definitely pretty interesting day today. Give me one quick second, guys, to just finish setting up. I should probably, let's see. So we have some interesting earnings today that I'm super excited about. So let's take a quick look. Today we have, I think, Intel. Let me find the pictures real quick for you guys. So today we have Intel reporting. We're on Thursday, right? Today is Thursday. Yeah. So we have Intel reporting earnings after close. We have Snapchat reporting. We have Twitter. So those three are definitely some popular stocks right now in the market. And hopefully you guys should be able to see my screen. Yep. And actually, let me close some stuff out real quick. What's going on, Stefan? How's everything? Hope you're having a good day today. All right, that should be good. All right, so yesterday I did a video on ASML. You guys know me. I'm huge into the semiconductor industry. ASML did pretty strong, but I think Texas Instrument didn't do so well. So this might be pretty interesting. Down 4.7% today. Maybe I might do a quick video of them and maybe include Intel earnings in the same video later today. So that's something interesting for sure. But TXN is down 4.76%. Polly, good morning, Polly. How's it going? Sam Adams will be interesting for sure. Sam Adams has been a huge growth monster, no doubt. I mean, this one has just provided so much returns to investors. I forget their overall ticker. Is it Sam? Sam stock? I'm pretty sure it's Sam. Nope, I don't. Yep, Boston Beer. So they are. This one's been insane, right? In the past year, it's given 39.61% to investors, and it's just been kind of ripping it 202% from March lows. So Sam Adams has definitely been an interesting stock for sure. Let's see, what are stocks making the biggest moves right now? Netgear, the stock plummeted about 14.2% after computer equipment marked lower than expected sales and revenue for its latest quarter. They do say a good portion is due to supply chain closure due to COVID-19. So Netgear, I'm normally not into equipment companies too much. What's another one? Whirlpool also rates its full year guidance, so that's good. RizFizz, what's going on? SC hit a new all-time highs for a brief moment today. Congrats. No way, man. Oh, let's take a quick look at my portfolio. What's happening? So I have, I think, more green than red today. Net is up 4%. Twilio is one I really enjoy. This one is up 3.5%. Zoom is also 3.5%. CrowdStrike is up 3%. It seems like software stocks and kind of like the closing the COVID plays, perhaps to say, are doing well today, right? We have Twilio, we have Zoom, we have Crowd, we have Net, all up over 3%. Datadog is up 2.5%. So we can see, I'm pretty sure my portfolio is doing really well today. We have Shopify. Shopify is almost hitting 1,600. I really do enjoy Shopify. I wonder if any of you guys are in Shopify right now. But it seems like it hit 1,600 today, which is pretty impressive. You also have Melly. Melly is one I enjoy a lot. But we can definitely see it seems like a lot of the e-commerce, a lot of the softwares, a lot of the SaaS companies are having their day today. Square is just ripping it. I thought Square was sitting at some attractive levels when you can see exactly where I liked it. So it's pretty cool. Henry, what's going on? Hey, Jose, please help me analyze TTD. Thank you so much, Henry. We'll take a quick look at TTD in a bit for sure. But we can see what else. JD is up. Fastly is up. Okta is up. AppWork. Nvidia is also up. That's insane. Up 0.57%. I can't believe this is still ripping. I would expect more dipping if I was to be honest. What else? Anything crazy red from my portfolio right now? I don't think so. NEO, down 2.95%. Magnite down 2.81%. This might make it to my list on this upcoming Saturday, so I might save Magnite. I'm liking it where it's at right now. Skills is also down. I know they report earnings. I might look into this one. You forgot food is up. I said my portfolio, Fizz, not yours. So food is up good, Fizz, for you? About how about the other one? How's Peloton doing for you? So today I did do my weekly purchases. So if you guys ever want to know what I'm buying, feel free to join the Discord channel. I should always do this. I always forget. But let's see. Let me give you guys my my Discord channel. Let me put it on the pin. But I did purchase my stocks for the week. Peloton down, food is up, but Peloton has been up for a nice amount of days, right? So it's okay. So there's the Discord pin message. I did my purchases for the week. I'm happy with what with what I bought. I increased my exposure in some ETF market that I'm really liking right now. But what can see, overall market doesn't seem, in my portfolio, doesn't seem too bad. Apps, I wish I would have waited like a few more minutes. But let's take a quick look at what's happening overall. So Finviz, right now we see the Dow is up is down 0.09%, but it's kind of pulling back up. Nasdaq is up 0.19, and the S&P 500 is pretty much flat. So the market is it's all over the place. It's kind of flat, I would say, right? Not all over the place. It's pretty much flat. If we take a quick look at maps, what do we have? We have big technology up a nice amount. You have Microsoft, you have Apple, you have Google, Facebook, and Amazon, right? Some of the big players are all up a bit. CRM, Alan, yeah, tech and growth day, green day so far. So far, right? It's we know how this market is. It can, Alan, right? It can turn around in a matter of like 10 minutes. It can switch around. But Alan, how's it going? I hope you're doing good. I feel like I haven't seen you in some time, but I definitely always remember the name Alan. Extraordinaire, what's going on? Hello, Jose. Do you think investors are mistaken for selling chip stocks as a reaction for Texas Instruments earnings? So I haven't looked at their earnings, Extraordinaire. Definitely not familiar with how the earnings came out. I might have to do a video on them later today. I'm gonna do a video actually on Texas Instruments and also Intel after they report earnings today. So that might give me a better insight of the semiconductor industry. I do think, I mean, yesterday we saw a strong earnings, right, Extraordinaire, from ASML, and I think ASML has a better grasp of how the chip industry will do compared to how Texas Instrument is showing off, right? So I tend to follow ASML a little bit more. I would tend to follow ASML a bit more compared to Texas Instrument in my opinion, right? So I would have to check out the earnings, but the stock is down 5.23%. Definitely hitting some of the markets, right? Micron Technology is down 2% today. Who knows? This might be giving buying opportunities to those that wanted to increase some exposure into the semi world at the moment. Good morning, Q. What's going on, Q? Hope you're having a good day. Hope everybody's doing well in the family. Alan, wow, Microsoft hitting all-time highs. Yeah, it's insane, right? Let's take a quick look at Microsoft stock right now. Microsoft stock, 285. I mean, this is the reason why. I mean, the big players. Some people always get scared of investing in big players. Microsoft is a prime example for me, right? I don't just invest in like small growth companies. It's also, I believe that even the leaders can keep on winning. We see it with Microsoft, we see it with Apple, we see it with Amazon. So sometimes they can still continue. And now $2.15 trillion market cap, it is insane. Even the big players can still provide strong returns to investors. Jose, do you know that Texas is still able to sell semis that are designed 20 to 30 years? One of the cool things about analog versus digital semis. Yeah, Viz. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I remember when I used to do my engineering work, a lot of the components, or whenever I'm doing some form of boards or some form of product creation, I would use a lot of Texas Instruments devices, and some of them would be like 10, 15, 20 years old. So I think that's actually pretty interesting. I mean, they always continue to kind of re-innovate those products, but most of them are pretty old. Even some of the analysis products, right? Some of the products that are used for measurements, for analysis, those are still 20 to 30 years old. I remember in not my most recent job, but the one previous to that, we were using equipment that was like 30, 40 years old, and you were still buying it for like 40 grand, 50 grand. So it's pretty cool, right? I do enjoy Texas Instruments. I mean, I'm first experience of their products for sure. So Sniff, what's going on? Are you familiar with CRCT? I am not familiar with CRCT. Sniff. Never. I don't think I've heard of it. Circuit. Might seem actually. I don't know. Oh, Cricut. Cricut, not circuit. I don't know. I was just thinking about electrical engineering, so I thought circuit. I'm like, I've never heard about them. So let's see. Sniff, do you want to take a quick look at this one? It's a super small market cap, $8.2 billion. Maybe. Actually, let's take a quick look at it if you want to. Let me just open some up if you say yes. So, Sniff, my favorite stock is Starbucks. Nice. I personally not a fan. Not because I think it's a bad investment. I'm just not a coffee drinker. But you're doing pretty amazing on it today, right? I'm guessing, Sniff. Yeah, I probably tend to have a cup of coffee like once every month or so. Very, very unusual for me to even drink coffee. So normally I don't tend to buy what I don't use. So Starbucks, I mean, you get that nice dividend yield. I'm pretty sure year to date it's done amazing, 17.36%. In the past year, it's also done amazing, 56.65%. So Starbucks definitely pretty impressive. I mean, this is a brand. Definitely a brand name. Whenever you're thinking about going coffee, you're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna go get Starbucks. You don't say I'm gonna go get coffee from Starbucks. Most people I know, hey, let's go get Starbucks, Starbucks this, Starbucks that. So it's definitely a brand, an impressive brand for sure. So Gordon, hello, good morning, Gordon. How are you doing? And hope you're having a good morning. Fizz, Jose, can you start a channel to teach engineering? I don't know. So it's so crazy, Fizz, right? I mean, obviously I know engineering, right? I got a master's degree. I've worked in the field for about 7 years. But after you work in the field, you see some of these guys in there that are just pure geniuses, pure geniuses in the engineering field. And it's like, I really don't know much, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, I've done the education, I've done the experience. I'm pretty sure I know a lot of engineering. But after you see some of these geniuses, it kind of like, hey, are you sure you should be an engineer right now? Because some of these people are just insane in that mind level. Alan, what's going on? Crowd and Square doing well tonight for sure. Crowd, I forgot. Alan, I forgot you're all the way in the other side of the world. What time is it for you, Alan? So CrowdStrike doing amazing. I think the cybersecurity market is Gordon. It's evening in your time zone as well. So Alan and Gordon both in the other side of the world. I think it's insane how I have viewers and how we're able to talk to people all around the world, and everybody shares the same common goal. Alan, yeah, I'm familiar. I was familiar that you are in Asia, so it's late for you. But CrowdStrike, right? Cybersecurity. The cybersecurity is definitely a market I'm super excited about. CrowdStrike is one I've been talking about, and whenever we see these dips, I definitely put it on my buy list. Right when the stock is not overextended. I'm pretty sure we go back in some of my videos. I believe I bought around these levels. I wish I would buy more, but remember, I only put weekly investments into weekly additions into my funds, into my portfolio, so I can't go too heavy even if I want to. CrowdStrike's definitely amazing. I mean, cybersecurity. I feel like every single week we hear something about the cyber market or being some form of cyber attack. So CrowdStrike, I really do enjoy. That's why this week, I wanted to enter a little bit more into the cybersecurity. I did through Okta. I feel Okta was a little bit less overextended this week. Again, Okta is not a true cybersecurity like a CrowdStrike, but it does kind of add that it's kind of within that sector. Today is Thursday. What stocks are you locking in? So I did my ETF meta, Gordon. So I'm really doing that ETF meta. I did Okta, I did Apps, and I did Tattoo Chef. So I did three kind of more heavy growers this week compared to I think previous week. So Okta, Apps, and Tattoo Chef. And if you guys ever want to see when I buy, make sure to join that Discord channel. It's free to anybody that wants to join, for sure. So now I have to start looking for my list for next week. I think depending on how semiconductors do, if Intel does bad, I feel it might drag a little bit more on some of the semiconductors. I might keep an eye on that. Jose, any opinion on Coinbase, ticket coin? Let's take a quick look at that. But first, I know Sniff wanted to look at CRCT. Let's take a quick look at that company. So CRCT, let's start off with just technicals. Right now, this is a brand new company. Okay, so it's a recent IPO. It seems. So the first thing I would want to see is when is their expiration date? Expiration date on lockup period. So their lockup expiration is September 21st of 2021. So normally you tend to see some form of decrease in price there. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen. It just tells me, Jose, there's a little bit more risk in Cricut right now because their expiration date is not yet has not yet passed. So there might be a nice amount of volatility as those days continue. Since this stock is new, I don't think we're going to get too much information, but I want to understand what they do. So Cricut designs and markets creativity platforms that enable users to turn ideas into professional looking handmade goods in the United States, Europe, and international. This is interesting for sure. Future growth. They're expected to grow 22.1% on average for the next 3 to 5 years. So a nice growth company. They are positive in GAAP earnings. They are positive in cash flow from operations. So fundamentally, they're looking pretty good, right? If we take a quick look at their balance sheet, they are debt free and they have about $337 million in cash. This might have been, they have an $8.4 billion market cap. This financial health might be March 30th. So when did they go IPO? It might not include the recent money they might have gotten from the IPO process. So something to keep in mind of, depending on what day they went IPO. So they have strong financial health regardless. Now let me take a quick look at ownership. First, who owns it? So institutions already own 67%. This one, Petrus Trust Company owns 57%. And the overall CEO and president owns 12.6%. So one thing I do want to say though is, right, it sucks when one person owns such a good, it's a double-edged sword. For example, it's good that someone is so bullish in this company, but if they start selling off their shares, it's going to make the company very, very volatile. Now I want to kind of just see their overall things. The ultimate cutting machine, all-new circuit maker 3. So is this cutting machines to crafting essentials? Oh, so this is pretty cool. So this is, let's say you are wanting to create something. Maybe you don't have the a cutting tool. Maybe you don't have a print shop. Maybe you don't have a 3D printer. You can kind of use, you're kind of renting out their product and making it yourself. So I can see why this company is pretty impressive, especially now as people are trying to go into their I feel like more people are trying to find a second job, right? Or not a second job, try to hustle, try to do an outside hustle, out of work hustle. So I can see a company like this doing well. Pretty interesting for sure. Sniff. The only thing I would say is my biggest yellow flag would be overall the stock price is just continuing to up and expiration date is still not here. So there might be a lot of volatility in this company. So Alan, let's see, any opinion on Coinbase? So, I mean, Coinbase, pretty interesting. I normally don't get into what I see brokers, right? So I've never really, Sniff, appreciate the support. Thank you so much. It means so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I do like it. I actually want to put it on my watch list and take a look at it later on, for sure. So let's see, Jose, any opinion on Coinbase? So Coinbase is definitely pretty interesting, right? I mean, ARK Investment has been buying this like no tomorrow. It does seem like in forms of technicals, it has created a nice support within like this 225, 220s level, right? So I believe right now, a good portion of the risk has been eliminated. I mean, you see ARK buying a lot. The only thing is, right, this is one that makes a lot of money through transactions. So I feel like less people are now talking about like Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. I'm not seeing as many YouTube videos as I was before. I'm not seeing as much tweets as it. So that might make this company a bit weak in the upcoming earnings. But if we ever see another huge crypto bullness, another huge crypto spikes and stuff like that, I do think Coinbase will have short-term movements. I think this is probably just too much volatility for me to even think about owning. But they do have what? They have strong, I remember they have strong numbers in their fundamentals, right? Expected to grow at strong levels, 7.7% growth. They are profitable in earnings. They are positive in cash flow from operations, growing at crazy levels. If we take a look at financial health, they're strong financially, $2 billion in cash, no debt to their name. So fundamentally and technically, they look okay, right? If they were in a market that I was super bullish in, Alan, I would definitely join in this stock. But right, so you got to look at technicals, you got to look at fundamentals, then you got to also, more important, look at the market they're in. The market they're in, not one I'm super bullish in. So for me, I'll pass on to it. So Riz, TikTok banned crypto and stock promotion. Did you hear? That's crazy. I did not. I bet it has to do a lot with all that's happening with, I don't know. I do follow a lot of YouTube drama, for example. I know there has been something with like Save the Kids, a huge crypto that a lot of TikTokers, a lot of YouTubers were kind of just promoting. So I'm guessing that's causing a lot of these platforms like TikTok to start banning them. So, I mean, in crazy, right, Fizz? So extraordinaire. ATV is going down hard due to bad workplace allegations. Yeah, I mean, Activision I read some of those stuff. It's pretty insane, right? Obviously, the trial hasn't gone through, so I'm not one to just like throw. I mean, we have a legal system for a reason, right? So, but obviously, with the information out right now, it's crazy. It's definitely insane. I was originally thinking about adding Activision for this upcoming Saturday video of stocks to buy. But now I think I might start looking at some other gaming company instead. Because those allegations are super bad. I thought it was insane. Like, I was reading them, I'm like, how do you let stuff like this happen in the workplace? So at the moment, I do have a small position in Activision. I have no intention of selling. It's such a small position. It's gonna help me keep track. But I might not buy this company until these stuff kind of happen. Until these stuff kind of like push off later on, until we get better clarity into it, right? Because it can definitely, I mean, if those things are true, I can definitely see this stock dropping a nice amount. So F, what's going on? You want to take a quick look at apps? For sure. I think there was another stock someone wanted to take a look at though. If I missed the stock, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll take a quick look at apps. But Fizz, oh hey Jose, can you explain the recent bullishness in TTCF? I also own it, but was curious why you're adding to it every couple weeks right now. Thinking of making a top 10 position? No, Fizz. So I mean, I don't think I've been adding a nice amount. So let me see my overall when I've been adding. So I added Tattoo Chef this week. When was the last time I added Tattoo Chef? The last time was the 1st. So earlier this month, and these super small positions, and I don't think I've added much. So I've only added twice in this month, Fizz. So it was this right now and earlier this month, and then I don't think I've added any more since then, right? Tattoo Chef, I don't see it any here since. Yeah, I haven't added to that one for some time. So the main reason, if you take a look at my most recent update, which was about a month ago, Tattoo Chef was such a small position of my portfolio, right? My portfolio, it was less than 1%. So at the moment, I'm just increasing it. I want to make it at least 1% of my portfolio right now. So soon I will stop adding. There's certain ones that I feel I still have such a small position, I don't mind adding more into it. So yeah, that's the one I like. I think apps is the one I've been going pretty. Meta is the one I'm going the hardest on right now. I think Meta I've added every single week, and almost every other. Every time I have money, Meta is getting funded. So good thinking, Extraordinaire. Yeah. So Extraordinaire, do you have Activisions? Does anybody here have Activision stocks What are your guys' thoughts, or what are you guys gonna do after these allegations came out? Jose, what's going on? Jose, how's it going? Hope everything is doing good. So let's take a quick look at apps. So apps, hi buddy, you reckon TSMC is buy right now? Thanks, Jose. What's going on, Marty? We'll take a quick look at TSMC in a bit. But first, let me just take a quick look at apps. So apps stock price is down about 1.5%. Let's see. What were the allegations? It was a lot of Xavier, a lot of sexual misconducts in the workplace. And there are a lot of them. Definitely a lot of them. There's like a lot of points. You can definitely go on Twitter, Xavier, and someone has like a whole thread of everything. Some of them kind of it's just a lot of allegations. I think there's even been like a death due to these allegations, due to the misconducts. Again, everything's still allegations. So at the moment, I have no intentions of buying Activision, waiting it off. Such a small position. I believe it's less than 0.5%. So for that reason, I'm not really doing anything with it. If it was a little bit higher, let's say if maybe it was 2-3%, I think I might have trimmed a little bit. Just to give my overall opinion. But just because it's such a small position right now, I'm not doing anything. I'm also not planning on buying though anytime soon until stuff like this kind of gets cleared up. So Digital Turbine Inc. NASDAQ apps right now is down 1.5%. This is one I recently purchased and Ford wanted to take a quick look at it. I've done a few videos of Digital Turbine, right? This is in the ad tech market. I do think the ad tech market is still very, very bullish. It's still very early, right? I mean, yesterday we saw Netflix earnings and we saw how streaming is still only 27% of the video of the actual TV time. Sniff, yes, I'm still on C. So C is a tier 1 stock for me. I have no intentions of selling anything anytime soon on Sniff. But let's take a quick look at apps. So what do you get with apps? Apps, obviously, ad tech, I'm super bullish. Future growth, expected to grow 31.5% on average. They're doing a lot of acquisitions, which I think is pretty impressive. They are positive in GAAP earnings, positive in cash flow from operations. Their financial health, they have about $30 million in cash, $14 million in debt. So it's a small company, right? I think microcap of $6 billion. They are not leveraged. I just like the ad tech market. Definitely, if you want to see more thoughts on it, fundamentally, I think it's looking good right now. And in forms of technicals, again, my opinion's not overall advice. I do think it's not overextended. So I do believe for me, right now is the right time to add into apps. And some of these other ad tech market companies like Magnite are sitting at impressive levels right now and giving investors overall buying opportunity. TTD. That's the stock someone mentioned to me. Are you still here? I forgot where you're at. I feel like you mentioned TTD. Henry, are you still here? I kind of jumped over TTD. If you're still here, we can definitely talk about it. So let's see, Alan. Jose, are you vested in Lemonade? No, I do not have Lemonade. I've done a few videos on Lemonade, but the insurance company is definitely a very interesting market to try to understand when looking at fundamentals, and I don't think I'm there yet. So Lemonade is one I don't mind kind of like holding off to. I mean, you're seeing them growing like crazy levels. They're expanding into right. They're expanding into cars. Their pet insurance is doing amazing. Like strong growth in forms of numerical numbers. So I definitely could see the potential in Lemonade. It's just not one I personally would feel comfortable holding because I just still have too many questions on how fundamentals are done in insurance companies. So let's see, what else do we have? Still thought it was a great company at the time, but was super bullish on Unity's future growth. Oh, when you ended up selling, right, Fizz? I know you ended up selling some. So yeah, I think I ended up selling Activision when I was going heavier on Unity. But then I started seeing that, hey, maybe I wanted to get a little bit, once I built up my position in Unity, I wanted to get a gaming company that was not heavy grower, but was providing some form of strong return. So I opened up a small position on Activision. And at the moment, have definitely no plans on buying anymore. Jose, Square insane these days. 100%. So I recently just did a video on Square. I don't know if you guys might have watched it. Let's see. It was definitely a which one was it? Okay, I think it was here. Yeah, was it here? Yeah, so I talked about here, David Becker. What's going on, David? Hope you're doing well. I talked about Square here. Square is just doing so much stuff, right? They recently just acquired a crew. I know in the past 2 days some more news came out. They're expanding into France as well. So Square, I think it's impressive. I liked it when I did this video. Let's see, what was stock price when I did this video? Stock price for Square was 233, right? So I mean, what is it at right now? Square stock 261, right? So I mean, obviously big whales are watching my channel. They saw my video, they saw how bullish I was in it, so obviously they purchased. I mean, that's the only thing that could have happened. Henry, who apps is better than TTD? I don't think so, Henry. I mean, they all have their own markets within, Henry. I think TTD, if I remember correctly, TTD, when I last looked at it, it was a bit overextended, right? So when I was looking at it, it was around these levels. I thought it was a bit overextended. There has been a quite pullback right now. That hey, there's still a little bit of the risk. I do believe Magnite and Trade Desk, I think it's like the GOAT right here in the ad tech market. So because it is the GOAT, everybody kind of looks at it a little bit more. So they kind of forget a little bit of. I feel like sometimes you forget some of the underdogs. Obviously, it's always great to kind of buy the bigger one. So Trade Desk is definitely a monster. But then you have Magna, you have apps. Other ones I don't mind owning. I don't own Trade Desk. But if we take a look at fundamentals, right? So if we saw technicals a little bit overextended. So it might pull down a bit, but long term of things, it looks pretty good, right? 23.7% annual revenue growth for the next 3 to 5 years. They are profitable. They are super positive in cash flow from operations. They have a strong financial health, plenty of cash, 680 million compared to no debt. They have overall fundamentally they look good, right? I forgot Henry. So I like Trade Desk. I just don't have it in my portfolio. Let's say someone was to buy Trade Desk in my portfolio and they forcibly bought it, I wouldn't be upset about it. I definitely wouldn't. But I kind of like apps and Magnite a little bit better. Gordon, you bought a long call at 210 for Square. Nice, Gordon. I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure that's doing really well right now. Square is doing very well due to its Cash App. Yeah, Cash App, I mean, and within the fintech, right, because of Cash App, they're able to expand into like businesses to like, with this new purchase of what was it, Crew, they created like their own Discord channel for people that use Square. So instead of like having Zooms, instead of having Slack, especially if you're a small business, now when you get Square and when you kind of use it, you now have Crew, which allows you to do meetings, plan meetings, to kind of schedule shifts, to kind of allow you to communicate with your team. So Square is really kind of transforming into that full-on solutions for businesses. I have to ask, why do you like Meta so much? David, so man, Meta is one that I just enjoy all their holdings. Look at their top 10 holdings are, for example, Nvidia, Tencent, Microsoft, Roblox, TWM, Amazon, Autodesk. So that right now, Meta, David Becker. So Meta is my only position. I actually just recently opened up a Roth IRA. Obviously opened it through Fidelity. So my Roth IRA, I actually just wanted to go through a nice growth ETF and not even worry about it. I thought Meta was the best play for it. So every time I buy Meta, guys, it's going into my Roth IRA. Remember, with the Roth IRA, I can definitely pull out all my contributions before I retire. So that's why I ended up going with that. So Nvidia, biggest players, right? We have Nvidia, Tencent, Microsoft, Roblox. That alone, right? But they also have Unity, big player, Autodesk. I enjoy. So their top 10 holdings, super bullish for me. Best way for me to just play that Roth IRA is just through a nice ETF and not even worry about it. So I know it's right now where I just opened it up, so I'm trying to catch up with my contributions. So that's why I've been going pretty heavy into it. And Kieran, what's going on? Kumar, any opinions on Conagra? Conagra, I don't think I've heard of that stock. Let's see. Conagra stock. It's probably my favorite ETF. I think it's the best ETF for me, 100%. I mean, ARK has some cool ones, right? They have some nice growth ones, but that Meta ETF is just out of this world. Get up, metaverse, out of this world, yeah. So Conagra, what do? They are an American consumer packaged goods holding company headquarters in Chicago, Illinois. Conagra makes and sells products under various brand names that are available in supermarkets, restaurants, and food services. They have already Magnite. Yes, Gordon, we could definitely take a look at Magnite. Magnite is one I do enjoy too in the ad tech. So the only two ad tech companies I have are Magnite and Apps. Gordon, just FYI, those are the two I own. So I do think this upcoming week, if I do switch off, I switch off between Apps and Magnite. So give me guys one quick second. So I want to see what some of their brands are, just so I can get a little bit more familiar with them. So they own Slim Jim, they own the tomato paste, Healthy Choice. I mean, I can obviously I see a lot of their names on. Let's see, maybe here. I mean, I've seen a lot of their names, right, in supermarkets when I go shopping. So interesting for sure. All right. So now that I know what they have, you decide, right? Maybe you guys might want to see some of these pictures. So Conagra, again, personally, I haven't looked at them. Now we know what they offer. A lot of these online bowls as well, the Mega Bowls, Power Bowls, PF Chang's bowls. All right, so now that we understand what they do, let's go and look at their fundamentals. So who was this again? Kumar. So what is it called again? Conagra. So Conagra brands. Let's start off with overall technicals. So technicals right now, I mean, if I was bullish in this company, if nothing has changed, obviously this is the most important, right? If nothing has changed from the business, right now it's sitting at very attractive levels. Very attractive levels. It's not overextended. And to me, I'm actually shocked. Honestly shocked. I would have expected the food industry right now to be doing really well. Normally this is one of the industries that tend to do well during high interest rates, right? Because I mean, you don't stop buying food. So interesting to see this down. I would have to try to understand why. It doesn't seem like earnings happened anytime. Earnings did happen, and it seems like people didn't like earnings. So right now, I want to say, I want to say it's sitting at very attractive levels in form of technicals if nothing has changed. But let's take a quick look at fundamentals. Did I close Simply Wall Street? Let me close some of this out. I don't think I need everything here open. So Simply Wall Street, where are you? I guess I might have closed it. So Simply Wall Street. Take a quick look at Conagra, I forget. What is it called again? Come on, where are you, Kiran? Conagra, I think. All right, Conagra brands. Let's take a quick look. So $16.6 billion market cap, future growth. The company, I mean, normally with big companies, you don't expect them to grow at crazy levels. 0.9%. I can already tell you this is not a company I personally would own, but this is more if you don't want a heavy growth story. But what do you get? You get a company with strong cash flow from operations. You get a company with profitable earnings. I'm pretty sure you get a heavy dividend. You get a company with a 3.6% dividend, right? So not my style doesn't mean it's a bad style, right? That's the greatest thing about investment, is that just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. This is one, if maybe I finally get scared of growth stocks and want to kind of diversify into a little bit less volatility, I don't mind getting into a higher dividend play. If we take a look at their financial health, what do we get? You get obviously a strong company already, so it's okay for them to be leveraged. I'm pretty sure they own a lot of factories, a lot of manufacturing plants, so most of their assets are long-term or other assets. They are a bit heavy in debt, and they have plenty of inventory. We saw they are positive in cash flow from operations, so fundamentally looking great place. Technicals, I do want to say nothing has changed. It is providing, I would say, it's probably providing, in my opinion, not advice, investors with a nice buying opportunity, especially with a nice dividend yield. If we take a quick look at ownership, what do we see? Right now, we see big firms, right? So institutions own a good portion of it already. This is probably an older company already. So institutions is already heavy in. Again, this is not my style. I can definitely understand why certain investors fundamentally looks good. Not the heavy growth stock, more of that, hey, low volatility wise at these levels might be looking attractive for sure. Honestly, nature healing is, I remember when most of the stocks you were asked into were pre-revenue companies, many EV companies, and now it's such a nice mix of value, growth, and specs. I agree, Fizz, right? I agree that I don't know what's happening. I agree with that. Definitely, right? Before we were just going heavy on EV, on speculative stocks. Now I'm learning about a lot new companies. Ping N looks attractive right now. Is this the Stefan? Is that the identification company? I have a small position in my portfolio, I believe. Let's see. Ping. Yeah, I do. Are we talking about this Ping Identity Holdings, or Ping something else, Stefan? So let's see, what else do we have? So Gordon, you want to take a quick look at Magnite, but first let me I missed a few questions. So Nicola, what's going on, Mr. Tesla? Do you think Intel is a buy between 44 and 47? That's a very interesting range, for sure. Let's take a quick look at Intel. I mean, Intel definitely being slept on right now. Oh, so weird right now, right? Look, Tesla, if you're here, I thought that range was weird, but I actually have this range on my charts right now, 47 to 43. I don't know if you were like hacking my computer, Tesla, but I think that's actually pretty funny. So, I mean, obviously, if it does drop down to these levels, I think it would be a nice buy for sure. So right now, I feel like many people think it's game over for Intel. I don't think it's game over for Intel. I don't think it's anywhere near game over. Is it gonna take time for them to kind of like change things around? I do think so. Intel versus AMD. If I only had to own one, Gordon, yes, I would own AMD only. I would only own AMD. If I can own multiple, I don't think Intel is a bad one, especially at cheap levels. Right? So if I was to only own one semiconductor, obviously it would be Nvidia. If I was to only own two, it would probably be Nvidia, AMD. If I was to hold multiple, even Intel can make the list. I don't think Intel would be in my top 3 list, but if it's at cheap enough prices, and I do think within that low 40s, it is a cheap enough price, and we've seen strong support there. So I actually think that's pretty funny, Tesla, where that we both kind of had the same price range right here. So I will wait for Intel to tank at 45. The sucky thing, right, Gordon, is what if it never hits there? And that's the thing. If it never hits there, I personally am okay not holding Intel. But there are some people that would miss the boat because they were waiting for the perfect price, and they would rather own it. So sometimes you have to remember. For me personally, I would rather move on. I like you, Gordon, right? I would rather move on. I don't care if I don't have Intel. But I know some people might. Earnings is on Friday. Intel, they're actually today, Gordon. I thought they were tonight. Or actually, Gordon, I think you're on the other side. Are you on the other side of the world, Gordon? If so, here in my time frame, Intel is today. But I'm pretty sure. I think you mentioned you're the other side of the world. So for you, it'll be on Friday. So what else do we have, guys? Happy robot talk. I don't think. Let's see, robots. I don't know why. If it gets to 45, the problem are probably going to be bigger than they are today. You'll be buying into a very troubled company and hoping things get fixed. All right, so now let me fix my speculations, Fizz. If it drops down to 45 and no real changes have happened, and it's more just volatility, then I would like it. But agree, if it drops to 45, I mean, I don't think anything major happened when the stock price dropped to these levels over here. So sometimes you do just get random buying opportunities. Now better phrase, if we get a random buying opportunity, no real major changes at 45.40 is mid 40s is definitely pretty impressive. Geez, Fizz, you make me add all these disclaimers to my talks, but I appreciate it. So let's see, guys, what else do we have? So Happy Robot, you want to take a quick look at Micron? I do like Micron. I mean, the memory market is one that's definitely needed as we continue to evolve, right? I mean, semiconductors aren't going anywhere. They're definitely not. Everything from artificial intelligence, machine learning, and that's being used. Machine learning, artificial intelligence are used in everything right now, from what you're getting ads, what you're going shopping for, what you're getting recommended in your move in Netflix, everything in life, I think, for the next X amount, 10, 15 years, is going to be run through machine learning, artificial intelligence. You need memory for that. You need semiconductors for that. So I like it at these levels, right? It's not overextended right now. The only thing is Micron tends to be a very cyclical company because sometimes companies just over order in memory. So I wonder if we're getting into that cyclical phase right now. So there's always that risk. Right now, what if I wanted to get exposure into Micron, I don't think I would be mad if I got into it right now. Long term of things, 5-10 years, I do think Micron will still be a leader in this play. Guys, so how's everybody doing? How's the portfolio treating you guys? How's the market doing for you guys? Gordon, what's going on? Not necessarily. It's because institutions buy a premium, factor in their expectation growth, and if miss earnings by a bit, share prices will drop. Agree, right, Gordon? So that's kind of what we were mentioning, right? It's sometimes the market just gives you the random opportunities. But let's take a quick look at Micron Technologies. And guys, if I missed a stock you wanted to take a look at, feel free to let me know. Sometimes I might just miss one. So what Micron Technology, $86.9 billion. Valuation, don't really care. Gordon, yep, my bad, Gordon. We'll take a look at Magnite. So Micron expected to grow 15.4% on average. Nice growth. They are positive in earnings, positive in cash flow from operations. You also, I thought you got a nicer dividend. I guess not, but 0.24 dividend. You also have a company with strong financial health. $8.3 billion in cash, $6.1 billion in debt, plenty of physical assets, plenty of inventory. So Micron, fundamentally, I don't think this is one that I would consider a heavy growth stock, but if maybe I want to get into the semiconductor exposure and something strong in the market, Micron, but that doesn't mean the stock price can't go down, right? I mean, volatility is here to stay and it will always be here. So today it's down 2.6%. Days like this can continue, right? So long term of things, I think it's good. Short term, volatility can go either way. So let's take a quick look at Magnite. So Magnite is also in the ad tech market. I've done a few videos on them, Gordon. I want to see, when was the last time I purchased Magnite? I'm pretty sure it was recent. No, it wasn't actually. I thought I was adding into Magnite. So Meta, Tencent, Melly, DraftKings. Wow, so the last purchase on Magnite for me was May 19th of 2021. And Magnite, where is Magnite in my portfolio? It's roughly... Where do I see? Do I see Magnite? Yeah, so Magnite is in like my top 20, maybe my top 25 position. So I'm happy with there. I kind of wanted to increase exposure into another ad market, and that's why I kind of went into apps, Gordon. But what do we get with Magnite? Magnite, like I mentioned, I think the ad tech market's still growing. 28.4% revenue growth for the future. They are not positive in earnings, but they are expected to be positive in cash flow from operations within the next trailing 12 months. If we take a quick look at their financial health, what do they have? They have about 468 million. So now I remember why I stopped buying. I'm still bullish in the ad tech market. Now I remember. But I wanted to get exposure outside of Magnite for this main reason right here. So in the most recent earnings, and sometimes this is why I enjoy doing this because it gives me a refresh. In their most recent earnings, they increased their debt a nice amount. Their debt went up from zero debt before to about $390 million. Right now, I mean, I'm not happy with that kind of balance sheet. I'm not unhappy. I'm kind of neutral about it. I wish their balance sheet would have stayed strong, but they kind of increased that debt, especially now as talks of interest rates going up. The company, even though they are expected to be positive in cash flow from operations within the next 12 months, I wanted to get my exposure elsewhere. Magnite, I'm still bullish in the company, not selling any shares, but after I saw that increase in debt and based on their previous fundamentals, I decided it's time for me to look a little bit elsewhere. So I want to increase my exposure in the ad tech market, but just not in Magnite. If we take a quick look though at technicals, I'm pretty sure the stock price is not overextended right now. I definitely, if I didn't have exactly right, Gordon, that's the thing. It's not a good time to increase debt at this time. So not a red flag, more like a yellow flag. Hey, Jose, you already have a decent exposure. Now that if you want to keep increasing into the ad tech market, let's start looking at some other place instead of Magnite. So like that, you have at least some form of diversification, but still has some form of play or increasing that exposure into the ad tech. So Magnite, if I didn't have a position right now, I wouldn't mind getting into it. I think I like apps a little bit more right now. But again, maybe diversification between Magnite and apps wouldn't be a bad play for the ad tech world. Personally, I like apps a little bit more right now. So thanks for reminding me. I kind of forgot why. So it might not make my list this week on stocks to buy though. I know I said that earlier. So agree. Price looks decent. I do believe the price, a good portion of the risk has been eliminated. Obviously, other investors look at that balance sheet as well, and kind of that negativity from it has kind of been priced in to some extent as well. So I do believe at these levels, it's not looking bad. It's not looking extended. So guys, I am done for the day. I am gonna go and get some breakfast. So thank you guys so much for the stream. Appreciate it. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Sniff it was. So Sniff, thank you so much for the donation. It means a lot. It helps so much with the overall channel. And like I said, I'm gonna go talk to my wife right now and tell her I made money from the stream. So thank you guys. Take care. Have a good night. Pablo, my apologies. I have to go have breakfast. I have a little bit more work to do. But pass by tomorrow, Pablo. It's Friday. I don't know. Fridays is usually a hit or miss for me on streams. But Pablo, if you are on tomorrow, I will definitely take a look at the HI. So take care, guys, and see you next